just in case you're wondering, no, Hanok Young is not in Modain because let me see if I can figure out where in Israel is Hanok. Um, from the looks of it, that looks like a hotel room in Tiberia.
I think, Tiberia, it is named, of course, after Tiberius of
Yes.
the evil Romans.
Uh-huh.
Oh, by the way, not long ago, I was guiding a group for Tourist Israel on Masada, and the whole story about the Romans did this and the Romans slaughtered the Jews. So I had this couple from Italy, and they came over to me and they said, "Could you tell everyone that we Italians, we're not the Romans. We're not the Romans."
little,
Here I am making world peace, and I didn't even realize it.
yeah, a little misplaced guilt there. But so you're
Yeah.
on this is kind of a trial tour for you to make sure that you still remember what you're doing for a Connect Israel tour, which, by the way,
Absolutely.
you will be meeting us at the airport on Monday, Bezrat Hashem.
Yeah. Listen, it is great. The country is crazy, busy, full of visitors.
Oh,
I
I thought it was going to be
mean,
just us.
well, listen, if you go to a site like Tel Arad, Tel Sheva, Tel Ashkelon, yeah, it wasn't crowded at all.
Hmm.
If you're making a stop at Qumran, and when you first turn into Qumran, and there are buses parked on the downhill sidewalk, then you say, "Oops, must be busy."
Okay.
So that's good. That's great. It's great to have tourists
It's
in the
great for the
country.
economy, but could you kind of do something to clear it out before Monday?
I'm planning on doing that.
Okay,
You
okay,
see,
good.
we still have peeps that are here, post Sukkot.
Hmm.
And the good news is when we have always scheduled our Connect to Israel experience, it's an off-season time.
Yeah.
So, like people say how come you and Mike never schedule something on the feasts? Ooh, the feasts. So, of course, I say, "Do you mean Thanksgiving?" They say, "No, no, you know what I mean." And I say, "Are y'all talking about Sukkot?" He said, "Yeah." So I try to explain that the country is full,
Hmm.
crazy, busy, insane. I've had tours on Chol HaMoed, the intermediate days, where we were unable to enter Ein Gedi
Yeah.
because it was filled with Israeli families.
Oh
So
yeah.
Sukkot is
Yeah.
not the time to run a tour.
It
Also,
really isn't. Yeah.
yeah, because
If somebody, yeah,
it
somebody
just
wants to
doesn't
go
work.
to Israel during Sukkot, that's wonderful. I've been there during that time. But to take a tour is just really insane
No.
because it makes no sense to be there. And then, of course, a lot of the Israeli businesses are, the shops are closed down, and
It's a national holiday.
yeah, yeah, it is. It
It's
is. So,
yeah,
our tour is we do these things on purpose because we understand the things that are going on, and we're trying to give people as much of a tour, and that's why we started the Eshel HaSharon Hotel in Ariel, Israel, and the tour of places like Harbor Khan, Hayavel, and Itamar and places. But Hanok, I do actually understand why there are more tourists in the land right now than any other time. Do you know why it is?
I'm waiting for the punchline and I can't see where this is going.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to say, "Gee, Mike, why?"
Most of them are going over to try to get a glimpse of the newest Israel attraction, Chris and Sarah Sharp.
Um, I have Sarah has been posting pictures through her travels. I
Yes.
didn't have the heart today. There was that picture of her, Chris, and Sarah sitting eating shawarma.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't have the heart to write shawarma is spelled Shwarma. She spelled it without the H, but that's probably the North Carolina spelling of
No,
shawarma,
no,
where you
no,
just assume there's an H.
no. That's the North Alabama spelling.
Really, these are dear friends. Why is
Yes.
it that we're going out of our way to poke fun at them and insult them?
Be-
Why?
because yeah, they've
Because we can. Because we
because they
can.
enjoy it. They really enjoy it. So
Well,
yeah,
okay.
we're on the we're on the final here, and I guess that Priscilla is flying out tomorrow, I believe it is, or she might actually be on a plane today, and from out of that's our favorite Canadian. That's part of the Connect to Israel tour. Bibi and Renee fly out tomorrow, and Kathy, and not my wife Kathy, the other Kathy, and then I take the rest of the crowd, including the 125 Connors, on Sunday morning. We actually leave.
You finally said it. You
Yeah,
finally said it.
I've been.
I didn't even say it.
Yeah, I'm living dangerous these days. So hey, with all of that. I heard that you guys have some kind of silly election coming up next week that's going to
November
it
1st.
almost interfered with our Connect to Israel tour.
Well, it's what's unfortunate about it is all of the polls and everything that I know and sense of the mood in the country is that this is the fifth election, in rapid succession. This will not be the last one. In other words, this government's not going to last for 4 years because they're not going to be able to form a government.
No.
Netanyahu and his cronies don't have enough to put together a coalition. The leftists don't have enough to put together a coalition. And, it's kind of like, you spin me right round. They just go around and around. Just think of a dreidel, dreidel, I may. Yeah.
I was thinking about
around.
I was actually thinking of something else that does some spinning around, but yeah, that's another story.
Anyway, what else is going on? The issues of the Iranian drones and Iranian military supplies being used by the Russians against Ukrainians.
Yeah.
Very serious issues for Israel. These suicide drones are very, very potent. And if you look at the devastation they're wreaking on the Ukrainian infrastructure, you can see, God forbid, what might happen in Israel. And, this constant source of electioneering, it's not the elections per se that are so bad. It's all of the venom and the backbiting and the undercutting that goes. Whereas we as a society need to be focused on what can unite us. We're busy, ripping each other apart. And, I won't sit with him in the government and she's a fraud and this one. It's insane. It does remind me in the Great Revolt against Rome, the Romans have Jerusalem under siege, and we've got Jewish groups that are busy slaughtering each other for control of the Temple Mount. This is history. This isn't, a midrashic interpretation. This is what happened.
Yeah.
When people, say, well, in Israel, no. We follow a consistent pattern throughout history. We are often our own worst enemies. And it's coming at a time also where you have more acceptable, vehement anti-Semitism around the world. You've got, Kanye or Ye or whatever, he is just, and, here's a guy that in the last few weeks has lost in total value hundreds of millions of dollars of his net worth just by this need that he has to spew venom against us Jews.
Yeah, we've talked about this so many times. It just doesn't make any sense in a natural realm.
No,
Reading an
no.
article about a little while ago about a lady or a woman. I don't want to call her a lady. She's 70 years old and got injured in some kind of a thing that happened, an altercation that happened because she was out with
Yeah.
the Palestinians in the olive groves, making sure that the big bad settlers didn't come and do anything wrong to them, which was like they were going encroaching into Israeli territory, I think it was. So the whole thing is just it reminds me of when we were at Shiloh a number of years ago. Shiloh, for those that want to call it by that, but Shiloh, where the tabernacle stood. I was there
Yes.
with Hayvel, and we're across the road from the Tabernacle Plateau, and we literally had to put up. I was part of we went up on the mountaintop there, and we're watching for the what is the Israel Now something, I can't remember what it is. There, this leftist group
Oh, yeah.
that is coming in giving us a difficult time because they say that us picking grapes in Israel is standing in the way of world peace or world peas or canned peas or something. I'm not sure what it was.
Oh, I got to tell you, it's been a long, challenging day, but I really needed that because what we just, we should cut out this clip, keep it in the broadcast, but cut it out and say, classic Mike Clayton and why we love him so much. Boom. This is, people say to me, Hanoch, you do all kinds of tours with all kinds of people from all over the world, but you keep insisting that your personal showcase is the Connect to Israel tour.
Yeah.
Why is, like, and I have to, I've guided groups that have actually tried to mirror,
Mhm.
and in one case actually did our actual itinerary.
Yeah.
But what makes Connect is you, and a little bit of me.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's a wonderful, no, and seriously, and you have to understand, and I hope our listeners understand when I'm saying this, we have a concept within the Jewish world of not to praise someone fully in their presence. So this is our virtual presence. I can't say all the wonderful things about you that I want to.
If you
But
say anything else, I'm taking part of your tips.
okay, remember, I'm the guy that hasn't worked for 2 years. So, just, okay. So I don't think I mentioned this in a previous thing, and I hope, I don't know if this person listens to our broadcast, but I'm always anxious when it's a great feeling when you get a potential work gig that comes, comes on your phone, whatever. So some of them seem a little odd, but one of the best ones I want to share with people, because I do appreciate your referrals. You have no idea. But when someone wrote and said, Hanoch, I have some friends that are, let's just say, at a location in southern Israel that both you and I are familiar with, but no reason to name it. They're there. Would you go down in your car? Okay. Okay. No, Mike, Mike, keep it together, man. Keep it together. Would you go and drive these people to Petra and to Cairo? Okay. Petra, which is in Jordan, and to Cairo, which is in Egypt. And me, as an Israeli tour guide, this is me, I'm official. So you like, and the person said, I know you haven't worked for 2 years, so I thought you'd be interested in this. I was twitching, after I tried to write it back a nice response. Thank you, but first of all, Those
Yeah.
countries require their nationals to
Yeah.
guide, and Petra is several hours into Jordan from Israel.
Yeah.
Cairo, Egypt. Look at a map. It's like the person said, "I can't go to Israel because the Ukraine-Russia war, and
Yeah.
you're on the border of both Russia and Ukraine." Okay. The very next day, I get another Petra request. You
Ah.
must be watching the Indiana Jones. I don't know what. Anyway, this person writes, "Do you take groups to Petra in Lebanon?" Now, first of all, Petra's in Jordan. Boys and girls, Petra's in Jordan. And it was, and this person mentioned, along with your Connect to Israel tour. And I wanted to say, it's the Connect to Israel tour. It's not the Connect to the Nabateans in Petra, Jordan tour.
Yeah. This is funny on numerous accounts because, first of all, I know the stories of Hanok Young driving. For that reason, I've never even offered to let him hold my keys to my car. I just barely let him in the car to begin with.
That's true. That's a fact.
Yeah, it is. It's totally true. The other thing is that, and by the way, Petra was just featured on The Amazing Race. That might be where it came from. This crazy series that's on here in the States. They had some little bit about Petra. I've been there twice, and both in 1 month, 2 different tours that I led. And well, let me tell you the first thing that happened. We get on the bus. Of course, we have to get off the bus at the Allenby Bridge, I think it was, and we transfer over to the Arab bus and the Arab bus driver and the Arab tour guide. And the first thing that the Arab bus driver says is, "Well, this is my village over here that we're passing. And the wonderful thing about being a Muslim is that we are allowed to have multiple wives." And I'm like, I'm driving through Jordan with an idiot. How's this going to work out? And so I mean, Petra is a cool place. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't go back because I refuse to support any kind of Arab economy, period. That's just me.
Yeah, it's interesting because that brings us back to my point of just a few minutes ago. Because how is it that you and Mike Clayton hit it off so well in running a tour? And it's because
Leonard Skinner
of things, Leonard Skinner, and what you just said. In other words, it's not like I have to say, "Well, Mike, the reason we're not going into the Arab Shuk and buying cheap replicas of anything, which of course are made in China, is because the dollars that our peeps would spend come back to me in bullets." But you know what? It's the classic, if you know, you know. It's like explaining to people why people would spend their money, live under difficult conditions to volunteer for a great organization like Hayovel to pick grapes. And, I know the way I describe, first of all, I haven't had the privilege as you and Daniel and so many of our friends have had to actually do it. But I say they're not picking grapes. They're working for the restoration of the land of Israel, which will bring the final redemption. So people look at me and say, I thought you didn't get high or drunk, Hanok. What are you talking about?
Well, speaking of Hayovel, and I switched over to my email here real quick. I just received an email earlier in the day from Josh Waller of Hayovel, and regarding this skilled positions. So this leaves both of us out. They need several people in the areas of pouring and finishing concrete. No, if I knew how to do that, I don't want to do it. laying tile floor, cabinet making, carpentry, heavy equipment operator, and plumbers. So if anybody is skilled
Wow.
in that or knows someone that is, you could email me and I'd be glad to pass the information along to Josh. I'll actually be seeing him. We'll be seeing him next Tuesday at Harbor Kai.
Of course.
So
Yeah,
this would be a great opportunity for somebody to use their skills in Israel.
that's amazing. That's amazing. If, I mean, and again, the trades that they're looking for people who are skilled in. You talk about building the land,
Mm.
and we use building as a euphemism. By bringing people to Israel, we're building the land. By the podcasts that you do, we're building the land. That's true. These are all true. But when you're laying tile and concrete, heck, you're not only building it, but you're making sure that that building ain't going to be moving anytime soon.
Well, these are the things that the scripture talks about in Isaiah of aid in the physical restoration of Israel,
Yeah.
which is a commandment to us. And, it's like Chris Sharp. Chris was able to do some carpentry work when he was there a number of
Wonderful.
years ago. David Gecko, I believe it is, Bump, we call him Bump. He was actually, and I think Chris might have been involved in this also, the winery up at Torah. And so
Yeah.
you look at what the winery in Torah looks like now compared to what it was then. But you go over there and you understand you had a part in this. You have a part. You have blood, sweat, tears, money out of your pocket, love, everything else that is now it is there in the land. I was talking to Daniel, our son Daniel, not our son, but mine and Kathy's son, the other day, and guys, I'm a little punchy. Okay, I've done this so far this week. I have done 3 Torah commentaries of 50 minutes each, a Life on Purpose podcast, a program with Barry, and Hanok, you're the last of my jobs for this week, except for putting all that together or getting it ready for the computer. So that's why I'm so happy to see you. But I was talking to Daniel the other day, and we were talking about what an amazing thing it's going to be for us to be able to take his boys to the land.
Wow.
And our plan is to take them, to take Reuben, Phineas to the same exact vineyard, the same place, the same row, and hand them a set of pruners. And for me, it's going to be, Isaiah, the word in Isaiah 61 of the son of the foreigner shall be your plowmen, your vine dressers. I mean, I'm looking forward to the day that it's the grandson of the foreigner.
I was going to say the sons of the sons.
Yeah, yeah. When you are invested in the land like that, and in the people of the land, and this is why I think the Connect Israel tour is so meaningful. That I'm not selling my shofar here, but during the Oslo War, the Intifada, when there was really no tour groups in the land.
No,
and we were there.
Coming.
And the relationships that were forged in those days are still wonderful relationships that are paying off in many ways today.
One of the things that I get really excited about is when I get messages from people who I know are saving for Connect to Israel 2023. And they say, Hanoch, I just got some extra work this week, or this month I just earned X dollars. It's very gratifying because the little, sort of pieces that we collectively together contribute is helping people connect to the land, the people, and the God of Israel. And I can't think of a holier task right now in front of us.
No, no, I can't either. And hold on. One of the things that I enjoy doing when we get on the bus Monday afternoon is asking for a show of hands. How many people was there you can go back to a miracle that happened that allowed you to be on this trip? Normally it's in excess of 60%.
And a miracle is a great way of describing it.
It is.
It's interesting because for some reason, and many of the people that we know and have known over the years have been involved to one degree or another with various groups that, for lack of a better term, could be labeled as the part of the Hebrew roots world. Although that's a very large continuum. And, it's neither a positive or a negative term. It's a term. For that movement as a whole, the love and support of Israel did not catch on like wildfire.
No.
And it's the classic is you is or is you ain't. We know the people best who are the is, but we know way, way more in the ain't.
No, and I just kind of prefer to hang out with the ises. And it's sometimes by default that I don't even know it. Something you don't know is I went down. Well, that I went down to Florida to speak at a Sukkot. Some guys down there were doing some Sukkoting, and so I just went on down. And I'm talking to Chris Cash, the leader of the Sukkot there, and we were walking along, and I looked over and I see this whole basket of lulavs. And it's like, wait a minute, this is not the typical, go out into the woods and buy and find some branches and come back and put them together with wire ties. These were lulavs that actually came from Israel. And I said, Chris, did you actually order lulavs? He said, yeah. He says, I found some I could order in bulk. And Hanok, here's this Sukkot on the Swanee River in Old Town, Florida. And they must have ordered 30 lulavs from Israel to have at that Sukkot.
First of all, to go out of your way to order them, number one. Number two, y'all, it ain't cheap.
No.
It ain't cheap. I mean, that really affects me emotionally. First of all, that people are taking the mitzvot associated with Sukkot seriously, and are turning to again, instead of like freelancing it, saying, well, what if I take this water bottle and I shake it this way? I mean, isn't this, I
mean, they're in Florida. They're in Florida. They could have found, myrtle. They could have, the 4 species are in Florida there.
Yeah.
They could but they went out of their way, spent the money to have something from Israel in their Sukkot. And I've been to so many Sukkots that they've gone, Lou what? Lou Smith. But they got it. And I was just so thrilled.
That's fabulous.
This is a new brother that I just met, at Sukkot, and Chris Cash, amazing man.
That's it's that kind of experience is uplifting to all of us. Because we know so many people who've kind of fallen off the wagon, and this is so great to hear names that we're not necessarily familiar with, who are picking up the slack.
Yeah. Well, I know that it's getting a little late there in Tiberias.
I got to tell you something. Here's a little hint. When the tour guide this late at night hasn't taken off his do-rag, his license, or his boots, as we say in Hebrew, no bueno, not good.
Yeah, it's we're a little late in recording today, folks, by about an hour past what we normally, we couldn't do the morning, of course, and let's just say that Hanok's had a challenging day, and he's really ready for the Connect group to come in because
It's Monday morning heading to Ben Gurion Airport. I'm going to be the one with my bags skipping down the street. People are going to look at me and say, hey, this boy done lost it. But we've known that for a long time. So, Mike, have a safe, easy, relaxing flight. I'll be there. Can't wait to see you. The first cup of coffee at Aroma is on me. I had forgotten how expensive the hospital. Oh boy, what a Freudian slip. The airport prices are, but I told you, first round's on me.
All right, well.
Kathy, of course, gets 2. You get 1. Sorry,
Okay.
It just works that way.
Oh well, I'll settle for that, and
all right, man.
Somewhere along the way, it'll all come out. So,
amen.
All right, take care, bro.
See you all soon. Bye-bye.